Sean Diddy Combs was acquitted on racketeering and sex trafficking charges, but found guilty on the lesser charges. The diddler was found guilty on the transportation of prostitutes, which I pretty much called. I said there's no way he's beating those charges. This slippery baby oil motherfucker is somehow getting away with this shit. I'm shocked. And what this basically means is that the jury did not believe the women were coerced or forced to do anything, which was extremely shocking to me because I thought bro was cooked. I don't remember which girl it was, Jane or Cassie, but one of them testified that he showed them a sex tape saying he was going to expose it to the public if she didn't have a freak off. The jury, I guess, just didn't believe that. I mean, there's several instances where both girls testified that they were forced or coerced to do things they didn't want to do. The jury didn't believe it. And all they needed was one instance where they think it was forced or coerced. Just one. Over the course of all these years in the relationship, the jury did not believe it. It's very shocking to me. I mean, I gotta give props to the defense lawyers because clearly they casted enough doubt on the RICO charge and everything and got the jury thinking and changed the narrative successfully. Brian Steele is just an amazing lawyer, bro. This man has officially beat a state RICO with the YSL trial and now a federal RICO. And this is a big L for the prosecutors because, I mean, they only got a guilty verdict for the lesser charges. And the big sex trafficking and RICO charges where he was going to be sentenced basically to life in prison, not guilty. Bro is getting a slap on the wrist. Like, he's probably only going to get a few years in prison. I doubt it, though. I feel like the judge might be lenient and give the motherfucker a year probation or something. I thought there was more than enough evidence for the sex trafficking side of things, but the jury just didn't believe it. I wish we could have seen the witnesses because I think that's what changes things here. We were just reading tweets and websites, you know what I mean? We weren't seeing the actual way these people were testifying, their body language, the way they said things. Like, we could have probably called bullshit on a few things and thought they were lying even more, but we weren't able to see things.
Kira, I'm still trying to wrap my mind around this. I'm not even sure if I would say there would be an appeal because for Sean Combs and his defense team, this is a massive win. 3 of the counts that had a life sentence possibility are gone. When it comes to transportation to engage in prostitution, the minimum is nothing. There's a theoretical possibility that he walks out on probation. Now, do I think that's going to happen? No, but the max is 10 years. Even if you were to take both sentences, and he's not going to get 10 years, they're going to look at his criminal history, mitigating circumstances, aggravating circumstances, and I would assume that he gets somewhere in the middle ground, maybe like 3 to 5 years, 3 to 6 years possible through that sentencing range for each count. Sean Combs going to trial where he was facing life and being able to walk out with something under 10 years, well under 10 years possibly, that is a victory.
Yeah, it's more than a victory. I thought bro was fried, cooked. I think he's going to get around 3 to 5 years maybe, if I were to guess. Who knows? I could see Trump coming out of nowhere pardoning this motherfucker just for the clout. Like, that's something Trump would do, just for clout, right? Just for the headlines that he did it.
As to like, okay, so he paid for people to go across state lines to have consensual sex. And I think consensual sex will be a big part of the conversation based on how the verdict came out. And so do I think he takes a big knock in terms of this case? Yes, but we've seen Sean Combs rebrand and come back from a lot of things, and that is a possibility here.
His bail was just denied, and he has to wait for sentencing, so he's not going to be able to go home tonight.
Bit of a commotion outside the courthouse. Sean Combs' mother just returned here. She walked in just a second ago, said she is feeling good because her son was acquitted of the most serious charges that he faced: sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy, both of which could have sent him to prison for life. He was convicted, though, of transportation to engage in prostitution, and that charge could put him in prison for up to 20 years, although it's not expected he would get that much time.
So under those federal sentencing guidelines that the court looks at, they're not necessarily bound by. The maximum sentence for these transportation charges, 10 years. Now he has two counts that he's guilty on for those. Those generally are going to run concurrently, meaning it's not going to be served 10 years for count 1 and then 10 years for count 2. So these would be run together. Again, the 10 years is the max. The minimum could be no jail time. Under the guidelines, when I was looking at the calculator, based on this level of offense and no prior criminal history, it could be 15 to 21 months of incarceration. And he's already been in custody since late last year. And so he gets credit for that time, plus for good behavior because he didn't have any problem in custody. So he could have already served essentially his sentence on the very minimal level. Based on the time that he's already been in MDC.
Can you imagine if they're like, time served, good behavior, It wouldn't shock me. I can't believe it. This slippery, baby oil loving motherfucker, dude. It's insane to me. I mean, the guy's a piece of shit no matter what, right? We can all agree on that. I mean, his image is forever destroyed. He beat women, has done some of the most fucked up shit imaginable to women. The guy sucks. He's a terrible person. But man, the jury just didn't believe it. They didn't believe the coercion and force. So he's gonna walk. Cassie's lawyers right here put out a statement saying the entire criminal process started when our client Cassie had the courage to file a civil complaint in November 23. Although the jury did not find Combs guilty of sex trafficking Cassie beyond a reasonable doubt, she paved the way for a jury to find him guilty of transportation and engage in prostitution. But come forward with her experience, Cassie has left an indelible mark on both the entertainment industry and the fight for justice. We must repeat with no reservation that we believe and support our client, who showed exemplary courage throughout this trial. She displayed unquestionable strength and brought attention to the realities of powerful men in our orbit and the misconduct that persisted for decades without repercussions. This case proved that change is long overdue, and we will continue to fight on behalf of survivors. This is a giant failure for the U.S. attorneys. Cassie's lawyers also wrote a letter to the judge basically telling them not to release him on bail. Request this honorable court to deny Mr. Combs to be released pending his sentencing on his 2 convictions under blah blah blah. Detention is mandatory post-conviction on these charges, and Ms. Ventura believes that Mr. Combs is likely to pose a danger to the victims who testified in this case, including herself, as well as to the community. Holy shit, I didn't even really think about that. If I testified in this trial and this man is only going to get 3 to 5 years, I'd be terrified, bro. And here's a courtroom sketch of Diddy and his legal team reaction to the verdict. He apparently kneeled down like this on the chair and began to pray. Sean Combs yelled, "Love you," to his family. "I'm going to be home soon." The 17 family members filling 2 rows of seats. They chanted "Dream Team" as he was taken back into custody. Wow. Can you imagine if this was all on video? Here we go, some inner city press tweets. "We've received your note. Have you reached a verdict?" "We have. It's unanimous." "It is." Count 1, not guilty. Sex trafficking of Cassie, not guilty. Transportation for prostitution, guilty. Jane sex trafficking, not guilty. Transportation for prostitution for Jane, guilty. I asked that the media not question jurors about their deliberations. Why is that? Isn't that weird? I feel like I've always seen jurors in big cases like this always talking to media after this. So I don't know, that's just bizarre, right? Jurors, you can contact our chambers. You gave up a lot these last 10 weeks. It is inspiring. You work together, rain or shine. Combs' lawyer already started with he should be released on bail. He is no longer charged with sex trafficking or racketeering. His plane has been chartered. It's in Maui. He does not have access to his plane. This is his first conviction, and his prostitution offense, he should be released. His family's here and could sign a bond to go back and live at 2-Star Island. You proposing $1 million bond? Yes, and travel to Florida, New York, and LA. The U.S. responds saying they oppose it. Person found guilty shall be detained until the judicial officer finds he is not likely to flee or be a danger. The defendant faced a maximum sentence of 20 years. Even while faced with this case, he assaulted Jane. Here in New York, preparing to surrender, he had drugs in his hotel room, was ready to commit the same offense. And lawyered up, I respect this guy's opinion. He's a really good lawyer. He tweeted, "Final words, emotions ran high on both sides, but people should have faith in our system. It is not perfect, but it works. Respect the jury's verdict. I'll repeat what I said before, regardless of criminality. A lot of things came to light that should concern people of good conscience. Regardless of who you supported, DV is not acceptable. Rampant drug use, treating women as trash, chasing or remaining with a man simply because of money or material things when you know better. People seeing abusive conduct and keep it quiet. Please, women should be empowered, encouraged to use and exercise their agency. We should stop telling women they're powerless to leave. We should encourage and give them the tools to leave bad situations and to leave safely. People should remember that hardly anything is ever given for free with no strings attached." The diddler is walking away with a slap on the wrist, but he has all those lawsuits to deal with. That was probably very overwhelming. Comment down below what you guys think. Hit subscribe. Love you guys. Peace out.